This variety is panache. It's a beautiful variegated variety. Here in Southern California or any area where you have the wasp, it's definitely one of the best figs around. I wanted to do this video just to highlight some of the problems that can happen with variegated figs and ways to take care of them. Like on this branch, look here, you can see on the same branch you have striped and reverted figs. What can happen here is the bud on the side where we have non-variegated figs, if that grows, it's highly probable that you would end up having a branch that is fully reverted. So what I do is I just cut them off. I only allow stuff that has heavy, nice variegation to grow, and everything else gets pruned off. I'll show you a couple of more examples with some other trees, but you can see right here is actually a branch that I had cut away. This entire branch seems like it's not as variegated as I'd like, so I might end up removing the whole thing, but definitely remove anything that is growing, any buds that are growing from non-variegated fig areas, because most likely they will have been reverted and will not regain their stripes as they grow. It's possible that they could, but it's unlikely. This is Regato del Salento, the Paolo Belloni version. This is an interesting example. Here from the same node we have double figs, and one of them is variegated and one of them is not. So if you understand the way this works, the branch has variegation and striping. If a node happens to grow right in an area where there is no stripes or no variegation, so it's a thick brown section, then it will grow like this. And it's likely that the entire branch would grow like this. For example, this branch right behind here, the whole thing, starting all the way back to the main trunk, the whole thing has grown with unstriped figs. So that whole branch will be removed. I have it marked right now because when I ever have cuttings available, you just want to make sure that you're not sending anything out. But you can clearly see the variegation in the wood. You can see here a dark stripe, light color. It's fairly easy to tell when something is variegated and when it's not. Here's another branch that has mild variegation, so I'm going to keep a close eye on that one. The end looks like it has some, and another branch right behind it, you can see this one is displaying both. So I'm just going to make sure that any buds, if they do grow from here, that they have stripes. One of the problems that could happen is if I take this as a cutting and I send it out, it's clearly variegated, but if the buds that happen to grow are these, you might end up with a reverted tree. So I'll show you what you can do if something like that happens to you. All hope isn't lost. You might just have to get creative. This is a rooted cutting of Jolly Tiger. You can see that I cut it close to the base. The reason for this is both of the buds that were above this had produced nothing but non-variegated wood. And I had to remove both of them and go down to the lowest available node that was left and just cross your fingers and hope for the best, that maybe this one would have enough striping in the wood that it comes variegated. And it looks like it was a success. You can see the new growth is variegated. Now this one, when the leaves are brand new, they actually look green, so you have to give it a little bit of time, and it goes from green to this yellow to eventually turning to all white. But this was a cutting that I was able to save by sacrificing the nodes above it and then hoping that it would push variegated growth out from below that node. Just some of the tricks to make sure that you can continue to have a beautiful variegated tree that doesn't lose its stripes. This could spread very easily if you're not paying attention. You could end up like this branch over here that's growing so well. If I wasn't paying attention and didn't have that clearly marked, I might prune the wrong ones, and next year most of my tree could grow back from this, and you would just continue to have less and less variegation as the tree is growing out the non-variegated wood. And who wants that? If you want a striped fig, you want a striped fig. I mean, look at these beauties. there you go, a little lesson in how to make sure that your tree keeps its stripes.